Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are reading some more Reddit stories over some draft out gameplay. Today we're starting with an update on a cheating wife, and I need you to hear what this man decided to do because I was not expecting it at all. Thank you so much for being here in the first place. Let's get into it. Update. Wife could be cheating. So about 20 weeks ago, I, 20 male, was working at McDonald's, and through the drive-thru, another 20-year-old guy came through. He looked puzzled. He told me I looked familiar. I said, I've never seen you in my life, and that's when he asked me if I had sisters. To my surprise, I answered, I have 3, but one of them passed away a few years ago. He responded with, is one of them named my wife's first and last name? Now for context, my wife doesn't just give out her name. She works hotel housekeeping at the casino. I said, yeah, that's my wife. How do you know her? He put his fist up to his mouth like the douchey college guys do, saying, oh, I hang out with her all the time at the casino. Now this is when I got a little perturbed. He told me I looked so much like her. I've never seen this guy, and the only thing I can think of is he's seen me. Through her somehow. I gave him his food and he left. When I got home, I confronted my wife about the guy, and I found him on Facebook, because he told me his full name when I asked. She said she's never seen him based on the pictures I showed her. We've been together 3.5 years. I know when she's not telling me something. This is when I got the idea to start asking around. I wasn't satisfied with her denying knowing him, based on the fact that she, to my knowledge, only emotionally through text, cheated on me 3 months into our relationship in 2023. I was understanding and moved on since then. I used to work security at this casino, and am very acquainted with the supervisors of each department. I got a hold of our hotel supervisors, who told me there was nobody who works in their department of that name. I then contacted the casino housekeeping supervisors, and they told me yes, he does work there. On 3rd shift, just like my wife does. Now, I know you may be thinking that people in another workplace can't just give out information about who works there, but I texted those supervisors on Facebook Messenger, who I continued to talk to after leaving security. That's when I contacted some individuals from casino housekeeping who told me they've seen my wife, based on pictures I showed them, with this guy, in the break room together. Now, if I know my wife, she's introverted and doesn't like to talk to people at work. We have a boundary of no opposite sex friends, and this is just running through my head day and night now. I don't know how to go about talking to her about this because she keeps denying it. We're getting ready to move to Utah in late August from Michigan to start a new life together, and I don't know what that plan is now out of the window. What do I do, Reddit? Update. 7:28, 8:27. So after a long talk at home, we came to the conclusion that whoever this boy was at McDonald's was obviously trying to create drama for a reason. That much is true. But what was bothering me so much is how she wasn't wearing her rings for 6 days straight, as posted in some of these comments. She sat in silence for most of the conversation and listened to me tell her how much stress this was putting on me. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But no matter how deep down I felt the truth in her claims of not knowing this guy, something was eating at me, and I just felt it in my gut she wasn't telling me the truth. I then asked for her phone. When she started to become a lot more fidgety and went through it, I started with Snapchat, Gmail, Insta, and her deleted messages. Can you guess it? The same guy. With the chats dating back to April. Chats like, you looked so fucking good today. And, I want you so bad. I wish you were here. I told her that she has 30 minutes to get whatever she has and get out of my apartment. She frantically tried reassuring me that those were old messages and I wasn't having it. I walked outside and waited till she was done. She stormed out of the house crying with her phone and was on the phone with I don't even care who. I sat and watched everything we'd built over the last 3.5 years disintegrate as she grabbed whatever she needed and got picked up by a black sedan I didn't recognize. Her parents were calling me, and I texted them saying that I'd call them back, which I did about an hour ago. Her parents are frustrated, and I don't blame them. They told me they'd be to my place in the next hour or so, so I'm waiting here for them. My parents in my life, if anybody's wondering. And for Utah, I already have an apartment lined up out there, and a job all situated, concrete. So a good paying one, better than McDonald's. So I know I'll be better off where I'm headed. Finally, thank you everyone. Thank you for this out. Thank you for showing me that what I was missing out on. Thank you guys for giving me this freedom and lifting this weight off of my shoulders. And most of all, thank God I didn't get this girl pregnant. I'll be going and filing divorce papers in the next few hours, and we're going to leave this post where it is. Good day, everyone. My jaw's on the floor. Good for this guy. for leaving the second time, at least. Once a cheater, always a cheater, unfortunately. Especially, I think, in the same relationship. Not to say that people can't change eventually, but I think after you cheat on somebody in your relationship and then they take you back, I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of statistic on how likely you are to just cheat on that same person again. That's awful. And then married her. So, timeline here, got cheated on 3 months into the relationship. Somehow 3.5 years in, they're married now. Which is crazy considering this is a 20-year-old. Breaking, actually, that is a statistic I do know about from my sociology classes, is that, okay, I'm editing and I wanted to properly explain this. Fewer than 4% of men and only around 12% of women marry by the age of 20 today, compared to the 1950s to 1970s. The median age was around 20 to 22. Most people today are getting closer or married closer to their 30s now. And the long-term divorce rate for people who marry young is an average of 5 to 8 years. And those marriages have a 60% rate of divorce. So to be legally divorced by 20 is almost a double rarity by these statistics, which is insane. Okay, back to me while I was actually reading these. Oh, this is crazy. She denied him for so long. I can't believe first of all, the people at the hotel or the casino were willing to tell this guy. They just wanted in on the drama, I guess. She cheating on him with her coworker. I would bet money that she's only attracted to her coworker because of something called proximity attraction. What is it? It's the proximity principle. In social psychology, the proximity principle suggests that people closer together in a physical environment are more likely to form a relationship than those farther away. So if you ever looked at your coworker that you see every single day, knowing damn well you wouldn't be attracted to them in any other setting, and thought, they're not that bad. Let me take a dip in the company ink. Why don't I? Don't do it. It's interesting. It's interesting because, like, the more time that you spend with people, I don't know, the more likely you are to form a relationship with them. I wouldn't be surprised if she leaves this job and, like, I don't know, maybe ends up dating this guy and it's like, why the fuck am I what am I doing here? This guy's ugly. Good for OP. Obviously your NTA, this was posted in AITA relationships. Definitely NTA. If anything, this didn't seem of like a am I the asshole story, and more of like an out, like he said at the bottom of his thank you. So good for you. I'm glad you had somewhere to outlet this. That chick sucks. I'm sure that okay. I just had a realization. This guy saw did she lie or something, or was he aware? Because there's two ways this could have gone. Coworker in the McDonald's drive-thru obviously was starting to start some shit, right? Did he know she was married? Because if he knew she was married, why did he do that? It's like he wanted her to get caught. Or she's even worse, because what if he didn't even know that she was married? I don't know, the way this sounds like it went down, it sounds like he probably knew, honestly, but she's denying all of it. I don't know. I'm gonna sound like a conspiracy theorist. Let me take my tinfoil hat off here. Her parents are frustrated. I don't blame them either. I somewhat agree with the no sex friends or no opposite sex friends boundary. I don't think it needs to be like a full boundary though. There's got to be some point where you can at least have like some friend of the opposite sex, because like what are bisexual people gonna do? You can't be friends with anybody if that's the case. Sorry, friend. You're bisexual. You're not allowed to be friends with anybody if you're in a relationship. So this is probably just a good lesson. This OP sounds like they got somewhat of a good head on their shoulders, considering they're 20 years old and articulate like this. So I wish them the best of luck in Utah. And FTB. AITA for breaking up with my 27 male partner after he refused to give me access to messages with a female friend. I, 31 female, have known my partner for around 2 years before we got together a couple months ago, and it was always been long distance. We're currently on a trip, and the other night, while I was using his phone, just for the flash, a message popped up. Jake, fake name. You make/made my heart sink. Not sure if it was written made or made, because my eyes are completely blurred out. I kept my composure and explained how it was not my intention to sneak in, but saw heart written up and read the whole message and asked if he could show the messages for transparency. He refused, saying is a big boundary of him and he would never accept that, but also would never ask me to do that if the tables were turned. That I would believe what I said. He would believe what I said. I asked him to give me context of the message. He said he doesn't know, most likely a joke. And later on, when asked if he could read it and now knows the context, he said he deleted the messages without reading. A lot of discussion has happened since then, but to make things short, showing the phone is a big boundary he will never bend for no one. He's afraid that if he lets me read those, I will always be on his phone, and this is a big breach of privacy for him. So I caught my ex cheating, and he knows that, so he used that against me, since I have breached my ex's privacy. He said maybe in some messages, could have been some flirting, but joking one, and there has never been any sexual or romantic messages between them. How he speaks to her occasionally, 2 to 3 times per week. That he has sent her pictures, for example, when he was at the beach, a selfie before running, and she has sent him some pictures of her outfit before going out. He says he sees how he's in the wrong for texting her, but doesn't see it as cheating. Those messages, as she's just an ex-colleague that they picked up talking a bit more frequently over the past few months, during the time we got together. Am I right on ending things up, or am I in the wrong, as he says, and that I should not have given up this fast? Okay, I have to say it. That was a really tough read. I think I did a decent job of it, but as a dyslexic person, it's really hard for me to read these stories sometimes. It's he refused, saying is a big boundary of him. That syntax does not make any fucking sense. Okay? NTA, install Grammarly on your computer, please. Or definitely NTA. This guy's hiding something for sure. First of all, you've always been long distance. I don't know if this guy has ever built up the trust that should be there, honestly, for a long distance relationship. You're on the 2 seconds while you're on his phone, using his phone for the flash, a message pops up. What else is happening when you don't have his phone near you? And keep in mind, this is I don't know, I'm assuming this person knows they're together. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe this person doesn't know that he actually has a girlfriend and is just talking like normal. There's so many red flags in here. You made my heart sink. Red flag. Automatically. That was enough to be out. Especially because he's not trying to show you it. You kept your composure. You made your intentions clear. You're not trying to go through his phone. I am pro go through your boyfriend's phone. Okay? I think I've said this before in a previous video. I don't go through my boyfriend's phone. I don't. That's because I trust him. That's because we have a really good, healthy relationship. If at any point I asked him if I could go through his phone, he would give it to me without hesitation. I don't, because I know a phone in general it's kind of weird. It's like your second, I don't know. It's like it's a digital appendage, right? There are things in there that I consider private, right? But I don't think you deserve the right to privacy if you're cheating. I wouldn't even say that you going through your ex's phone to find out that they were cheating is a breach of privacy. They either gave you a reason to not trust them, or you followed, I'm assuming OP's, oh no, 31 female. Yeah, you followed your female intuition, which is very strong, by the way. Went through the phone and found that he cheated. Right? Your boyfriend, ex now, right? They broke up. Your boyfriend breaking up with you, I'm sorry. Your boyfriend not letting you go through his phone because you went through your ex's phone to find that he was cheating. He just used, like, that's just an excuse. He's definitely hiding something. He probably wouldn't consider it a breach of privacy if he had nothing to hide. Por ejemplo, my boyfriend would never not let me go through his phone. I'm okay with him going through my phone too. I have nothing to hide. But it's going to be embarrassing. But if you're truly looking for a life partner, sure. You got to be yourself. Okay? Nobody's going to love you if you can't just be yourself. They're going to love the fake version of yourself that you made up. You're 31 female. He's 37 male. That biological clock is ticking for our boy. And I think you deserve better, Queen. Let's read some comments. Someone said, NTA, I'd say you're in the right if you feel this will not work going forward. He couldn't come up with using an honest answer using maybe. said he knew it was wrong but didn't think it was cheating. If it was a regular conversation with an ex-colleague or even a current colleague, what about it could be wrong? If you're coming to him about it for reassurance, especially considering he knows about your ex, why did he immediately get defensive and use it against you? Jokes are one thing. Jokes are comments that he knows you might not like or see, would be uncomfortable with, would be another. That's odd or surprising if he chose to delete the messages. Yeah. Didn't know. I'm so tired. I swear. Breathe. I am so tired. I think I saw this on the ultimatum, actually. I think that's what I'm thinking of. The gaslighting from manipulators, where they just say they don't know. They use like a shitty memory as a reason to not tell you something. Yeah, I just don't remember. I don't. You do remember. You are just scared to take accountability, and you are scared to tell the truth. Just tell the truth. I don't understand liars. I can't even I I can't even lie. Like a little white lie or something. I'd rather just tell the truth. I don't care. Shout out OP. Everybody's saying you're not the asshole. Not the asshole. He's very weird. He deleted the messages without reading. That's also a lie. This is a 37-year-old grown ass man gaslighting you and cheating on you. I wouldn't be surprised if he cheated the whole 2-year relationship. I'm sorry, OP, if you ever hear this, but he probably cheated the entire time, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if he had multiple girlfriends, honestly, long distance, and just like kind of parades around going to different trips with these ladies. I don't know. I don't think that's a boundary. If you're listening to this and you're in a relationship where you don't have the ability, you don't reserve the right to go through your partner's phone, and that's like, I'm taking healthy relationships out of this. If it works for you, it works for you, right? If you have that gut feeling and something's just wrong, like you should be able to reserve that right. Oh, that's crazy. This is like just like the other story. The boundary of not having, an opposite sex friend, but the boundary is you can't go through my phone because I'm cheating on you and I don't want you to see it. Good for you for leaving. I think there's a lot of people that just would not have left, to be honest with you, in this circumstance. Like they if it, honestly it was me. It was me. My ex cheated on me. Somehow gaslit me saying that Snapchat was wrong. The Snapchat got the dates wrong. The messages were a year older than they actually were. There are people that would give their partner, especially after 2 years, the benefit of the doubt in this situation. I'm extremely proud of OP for cutting these ties off when they did, because could have stayed and it just would have perpetuated. The cheating would have continued. It would have continued to be, probably brought down. It's emotional abuse, honestly, to cheat on your partner. I don't understand why people don't just attempt to be open, or if that's not what you're into, just break up. What is the point of putting another human being through emotional turmoil like this? Holy cow. NTA, shout out OP for breaking up with him, and I'm glad you posted about it as well, because I don't know, maybe somebody else is going through the same thing and they want a reason to break up with them. Like, you don't have actual concrete proof, but I think the proof enough is just the fact that he deleted the messages and is just denying it, won't let you go through his phone. Good job, OP. I forgive you for your poor syntax. AITA for demanding child support from the man I cheated with, even if it hurts his wife. My post was taken out in the regular Am I the Asshole for Being relationship content, so I am posting here. I, 26 female, have a 2-month-old baby girl. The father of my child, male, 34, is a married man. I did not know he was married when we were intimate. We went through a mutual hobby and clicked pretty much instantly, and it evolved from there. I was not trying to get pregnant and was on the birth control pill. However, I did become pregnant and view her as a gift. I personally would not get an abortion and chose to keep the baby. After I found out and made my decision, I told him through text. This is when I found out the scumbag had a wife of 2 years, female 32, and he begged me to get an abortion. I gave him the option that either he could tell his wife with a 1-week deadline or I would, and he ended up telling her 2 days later. She reached out to me to get the full story and all details. I apologized to her and reiterated that I didn't know, but that I was pregnant and planning on keeping it. The call ended shortly afterward. His wife ended up taking back her husband and has allowed him to be the father to our child. His name is on the records for our child, and he does visit weekly with his wife. While he is involved with our daughter, he does not financially support her. I am filing for child support. While I could comfortably support my baby with my earnings alone, I think she deserves more. I have informed both of them of this, and they have both stated that this is unfair and that he was already going above and beyond by not abandoning our child. On top of this, my sister reached out to tell me the husband's sister reached out to tell me that I was a bitch for keeping the baby and that I was stealing money from her sister-in-law and brother that could be going towards infertility treatments, and that I was hurting her sister-in-law by rubbing this in her face. While I empathize with her infertility struggles, I don't think that excuses him for paying for a child that he is 50% responsible for. Am I the asshole for demanding child support for the man I cheated with, even if it hurts his wife? I don't know if this word is supposed to be used in this context, but I got viscerally angry when I read the sentence. I have informed them both of this, but they have both stated that this is unfair and he was already going above and beyond by not abandoning our child. Are you kidding me? It takes two to tango, man. It takes two to tango. Two people. I know the women, I don't know, I read this somewhere, don't quote me on it, but apparently women can produce asexually. Even if that's the case, most of the time, it takes the counterpart for that whole reproduction thing to happen. So saying that you're going above and beyond by not abandoning our child, by showing up once a week to see her, is insane. That is asinine. Holy cow. And then his sister is now harassing OP. Who's harassing the husband? Who's harassing the scumbag cheater who cheated on his wife of 2 years? Holy cow. Side comment. This person was on birth control and got pregnant. That is my biggest fear. Holy shit. On birth control pill, not intending to have a baby, and then somehow getting pregnant is insane. Okay? I know it's possible. It's like 95% effective, depending on if you actually take the pill at the right time of day. That is crazy, and I can understand why you do the baby as a gift. You know, as much as I'm, pro-choice, I can understand this person's perspective and how she wanted to keep her baby in this circumstance. Also kind of proud of her for making the decision before talking to him. I know that's like something, I don't know, it's her choice at the end of the day, right? It takes two to tango, but she's the mother. She's the one growing it in her body. What if this was like, what if it was the other way around? What if she got pregnant, she wanted to have the abortion, she told him out of a courtesy, or maybe to get like half the money, as much as she said she's well off. And then since they have infertility issues, they want to force her to have the baby so that maybe they could keep it instead, and they asked to adopt it since it's 50%. Like this could go either way. I think honestly, I could see in a parallel universe where she made that decision and then they try and force that upon her too, and she's making a Reddit post in this alternate universe about it. I feel like first of all, it's scumbag. He's cheated on his wife already. Didn't tell that's like it's a lot of people that he's lying to, transparently. Lying to OP by being in a relationship and hooking up with her. I think that alone is deplorable behavior. Sex is such a I don't know. I don't want to say like holy thing, but it's intimate. It's intimate, and I have the opinion that you should be pretty upfront with your sexual partner, of how many sexual partners that you have, because that just opens up like a whole rabbit hole of STDs that could be transmitted. You have the obligation to tell people. I don't know if you're transporting anything. So not only, I'm sorry, this is gonna sound a little graphic here for a moment. He's fucking both of them raw. Okay? And neither of these ladies knew about that. That behavior alone, it is egregious enough for this guy, for me to want to stomp on this guy's head. Then he got her pregnant. If they used a condom, if they used double contraception, there's no way that she would have got pregnant. Maybe like a 1% chance. She was on the pill. They were probably doing it raw, and he's definitely doing it raw with his wife. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if you're eating right now, but they were intimate. There's a lot of reasons why I hate this guy. So no, you're not going above and beyond by not abandoning your child and showing up once a week to visit. I don't even think he has an obligation to. Like, the kid is young enough. They could end up having a different father figure, and if she just totally cuts this guy off in the life, the baby is not going to be. The baby will be able to be loved by multiple people. I understand wanting to keep the genetic father in the life. He's involved in it. His name is on the records for the child, but I also don't know if he deserves it. I don't think, they can focus on their own thing. It takes two to tango. Whenever you are having sex, if a child comes out of it, you are responsible for that kid. This is part of the reason why I don't want to have kids, because you're responsible for them until, at the very least, 18. I think that's absurd, by the way, if parents just stop caring for their kids when they turn 18, because they didn't ask to be here. This kid did not ask to be here. This little beautiful baby girl who's 2 months old, she did not ask to be here, okay? You're not going above and beyond by not abandoning the child. Honestly, you probably should. Sorry. You probably should abandon the child. Then she'll do better off without you and your crazy wife and like her insane aunt who's harassing her mother. Top comment. NTA, he's not going above and beyond by not abandoning. Child support and a once-a-week visit is the bare minimum. Yeah, I do think child support is the bare minimum. You have an obligation to pay for this kid. Okay? At the very least until they're 18. Hopefully longer if you're not just an asshole. A lot of the people are commenting saying that they're going to try and get 50-50 custody. I think that's absurd also. Depending on what state they're in, I guess that could happen. Somebody said perhaps you should consult a lawyer first. That's a good idea. Not the Reddit lawyers. Here's a comment. First of all these people are mad at the wrong person. They need to take it up with Mr. I don't have a wife. You're not being unfair one bit. It's his child, which he had a financial responsibility for. He'd better learn if you can't afford a stamp, don't poke your mail in the box. That is a much better way of saying what I said. I am so sorry for being so dirty in your ears. Wow. Ooh, okay. NTA. I was in a very similar position. My son was an unexpected gift. It transpired his dad had a wife 200 miles from where he worked. I claimed child support. His wife remained married to him. He visited sporadically. His wife never met my son. A couple years later, their marriage broke down. I had too much baggage to even consider trying again. My son decided when he was 8 that he didn't want to continue seeing his dad. Don't feel bad about claiming child support. I save it all and sent my son to an excellent private school. Your daughter deserves that money from him. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody sucks here but his wife. If anything, I just feel bad. She's probably got Stockholm Syndrome, poor girl, going back to him. After taking it back after he has a whole ass baby with another person. Poor girl. Yeah. OP, you are NTA. I've ruled it. Random person on the internet. Random YouTuber girl. You're welcome. Before we jump into the last two stories, I just want to say thank you so much if you are here. I've been reflecting on my videos having 140 views, and I'm honestly so excited and grateful. So thank you so much if you are here. There's 2 more stories left here. If you are not already, don't forget to subscribe. I am posting videos either weekly or bi-weekly, just depending on what's going on in my life. However, I do stream pretty consistently on Twitch. So if you wanted more unhinged and unedited versions from me, but don't be afraid to check that out too. We'd love to have you. AITA for refusing to leave my apartment while my roommate has a guest. First, some context. I, 36 male, have been living with my roommate, 32 female, for 4 years. We share an apartment because the cost of living in my city is high. And besides, it just worked for us until now. Our apartment has 3 rooms. I occupy the largest bedroom, and she has the small bedroom plus the living room, which I also have access to but I don't use. It only holds her stuff, and she decorates it however she wants. We arranged the split this way because I work from home and needed a room big enough that I could set an office up in as well. I also am a homebody, so I really value my own space and spend a lot of time in it. I only leave the house for grocery shopping, dates, and jogging. She, on the other hand, spends most of her time out. She works in the city for 10 to 12 hours each day and is very outgoing. She doesn't like staying in and often goes out with friends. I am in a relationship with my girlfriend, 33 female, who visits me regularly about twice a week. Sometimes stays the night. We plan to move in together once our life situation stabilize a bit. I don't want to go into details here as they are not relevant to this post. My roommate was single for most of the time we lived together, but a year ago she met a man, 34 male, from another country online, and they were in a long-distance relationship. During this time, they have seen each other in person once when she visited him in his country. Recently, a conflict arose between us because her boyfriend decided to visit her for 10 days and by default stay at our appointment. I didn't mind this. However, as the arrival date approached, my roommate started asking if I was planning a vacation or trip during the time her partner would be visiting, which was in July. I answered truthfully that I had been on vacation in June and had trips planned for August and September, so I wasn't planning on leaving the house in July, especially since my work is freelance/contract based, and when I'm not working, I simply don't earn money. For this reason, spontaneous trips are out of the question for me. I have to plan everything in advance and manage my finance as well. My roommate acknowledged this and didn't bring up the topic again, until recently. A few days before his arrival, she asked again if I was planning a vacation while her boyfriend gonna be here. I answered again, though a bit annoyed, that I wasn't. I had already told her before that I couldn't afford a spontaneous trip and needed to work more this month. She didn't comment on it and walked away. The next day, however, she started the conversation again. She told me that because of me, she had to rent an Airbnb for 10 days to stay there with her boyfriend, and she believes I should pay her for it because it was because of me, since I refused to leave the apartment. She told me that she was forced to do so. It is a significant burden on her budget. I told her that she must be joking and can forget about it. I also mentioned that she didn't have to do anything, as I had no problem with her boyfriend staying with us during this visit. She replied that they needed privacy and my presence at home was unwanted, so she had no other choice. When I told her I couldn't pay for her choices, she changed her tactics. She said that since my girlfriend visits regularly, she should contribute to the rent because it's as if she lives with us. I told her that was out of the question too, and that my partner only stays over for a few days a month. She is a guest, not a resident. This angered her again, and my roommate claimed that she was suffering financial losses because of me. Finally, she brought up another argument in the heat of the fight. She said that since I have a larger room, I should pay more, even though during the initial renting and every annual lease renewal, she was always fine with 50-50 split, especially since we also agreed that she could treat the living room as her second room. I also told her that if she felt that way, she should have said so at the time of renewal, in February. Then we could have renegotiated the rates. However, I stated that as long as the old agreement with an equal rent split is in place, I have no intention of paying her anything extra, especially since she had absolutely no problem with it for so many years. Seeing that none of her attempts to stick me with a bill for meeting her boyfriend worked, she said she thought we were friends and that it wouldn't be a problem for me to do her a small favor. She said she was wrong about me and I turned out to be a classless person. My partner and all my friends I've vented to about the situation say I have every right to live in the apartment I pay for and that my roommate is completely overreacting. Still, I'm looking for validation from people who have no personal connection to me. AITA. Let me clarify a few points that kept coming up in the comments. The post received so much attention that I'm unable to reply to everyone. Also, thank you for the words of support. That means a lot. Does her boyfriend know about me? Yes, I was present during one of their FaceTime calls and was introduced to him. However, I do not know what she told him about me or how I was introduced. He likely knows I am not gay, but I cannot say for sure. Why is she covering the costs instead of her boyfriend? Because from what I know, her boyfriend is unemployed or facing financial difficulties. She has occasionally expressed frustration about this to me in the past. Besides, he might actually be contributing. Don't know for sure. Simply used the argument that these were her costs during our discussion. Timeline update. It is worth noting that their meeting has already taken place. I am writing this after her boyfriend returned to Turkey and they spent the time together. Currently, my roommate is back in our apartment and giving me the silent treatment. Why didn't I stay at my girlfriend's place? Because my roommate was not satisfied with me leaving for just a night or two. I suggested this at the beginning of our conversation, and she wanted me gone for longer. I refused, and once it turned into an argument, I decided not to leave, even for a single night. Am I the asshole for splitting 50-50 rent while having the bigger bedroom? The truth is, this was never an issue before. We had lived together for 4 years and renewed the lease annually. She could have brought it up during our common discussion, and I likely would have agreed to the changes. For instance, I already pay for the high-speed internet just myself because I use it the most, working at home. However, she only brought up the room size now because of the situation with her boyfriend. She has never said a single word about it before. I understand that some people might view the split as unfair, despite other concessions I made because of it, which I described in the main post. But I believe such things should be renegotiated at the right time, like when signing the lease, not changed halfway through a contract because of an argument. Why do I need validation if the situation seems so obvious? I am on the autism spectrum. This sometimes causes difficulties in social interactions and reading emotions. I strongly feel that I handle things correctly, but the situation is still weighing on me. That's why I made the post. Okay. First of all, NTA. Shout out OP. I swear I say that so much. Shout out OP. This sounds like your roommate ruined a pretty good relationship. Let's think about the comments that I had while I was reading this story. First of all, we share an apartment because the cost of living in our city is high. This post was made 7 days ago. That is everywhere, unfortunately. I think everybody has roommates now because it's just not physically possible to live alone. So no need to explain yourself for having a roommate. I'm assuming the percentage of people who have roommates in adulthood are going up. I mean, boomerangs have increased. People are just living at home with their parents as roommates. So don't feel too bad about that. I was a little confused about the 3-bedroom thing. It sounds like a 2-bedroom apartment and she just occupies the living room, which is valid. I don't think I leave my room very much either. I don't spend too much time in the living room as much as I should. Most of the time she's out. Also, sidebar, why are there so many stories today with these long distance relationships with people that like never see each other? No offense to you if you've done this in the past. I just think people deserve more and they deserve better. You should be able to see your partner. You spend so much time with your partner, especially at the later part in life. It's not feasible to be with somebody long distance for that long and never see them. People need humans. They've seen each other once. This is now the second time that they've seen each other and he's unemployed. That's a lot of red flags on its own. OP's doing a really good job of giving this person not only the benefit of the doubt, but trying to resolve this in good faith. Started by saying that he could stay with his girlfriend for a couple of days. Your roommate asking you to stay with your girlfriend for 10 days straight is pretty insane. Something I know about leases is most of the time, if not all the time, there's a clause in there. There's a reason for this clause. It says, hey, guests cannot stay for more than X amount of days. Usually it's 2 or 3. That's so you don't get an extra roommate who's not on the lease. So not only is OP being cool about her boyfriend staying for more than 10 days, even though that's absolutely going to be a breach of the lease, she being the roommate is trying to get OP to now put his girlfriend's lease in jeopardy by staying with her for 10 days straight, saying that his presence is not wanted in his own home. Are you kidding me? Your house is supposed to be your safe place. If I had a roommate telling me that my presence isn't wanted in my own home when all I do is sit in my room so that her and her boyfriend can bang as loud as they want, I would be the one saying that I didn't know you and you have no class. I know why they don't want him there. It's so they can walk around the apartment naked and bang all the time in those 10 days, make up for the 1 year of e-sex. Saying that they're just projecting at that point, right? Roommate is just projecting onto OP. that he's classless and that I thought we were friends. This is not a small favor. You're asking somebody to leave their safe place. And honestly, and OP's autistic and enjoys their home. I'm sure 10 days at girlfriend's house, honestly, probably would have been the most draining thing ever, not being able to just recharge in your own space. So, NTA, absolutely NTA. You know who is the A? Your roommate. And I hope you are gonna move in with your girlfriend now. Eventually. It sounds like that's just the next step, and this is just gonna force you there. AITA for not paying for my sister. Am I the asshole for not paying for my sister's meals anymore? I, 39 female, am married with 1 daughter, 9 female, while my sister, 37 female, is single and childless. It is her choice and she enjoys her free time, which I respect and sometimes even envy. We live in different states. When she visits, she stays at our place and I cook for her or treat her to restaurants. She never pays for anything except for a small gift for my daughter once in a while. When I visit, she cannot accommodate us in her small apartment, so we stay at a hotel for a few days, 2 or 3 nights. Since we are more people, I do not expect her to pay for all our meals. I just realized she still expects me to pay for hers when we are visiting her. I never saw it before and automatically takes out my card. My daughter asks innocently why, when we are guests at her aunt's, although we don't stay there, she never takes us out. Last visit, we went to fast food to buy burgers for takeout, and after putting my order and paying, I asked whether she was ordering anything here. I could see she was shocked and did not even have her wallet. She mumbled something about not being hungry now and wanting pizza next door instead. She went out later to get food. I ordered for just my family those 3 days. We also did not eat in at any restaurant, as it is harder to do so discreetly in a restaurant. She did not look upset, but then I noticed when she pays for her own meal, she never orders at the same place as us. She's going to visit in 2 weeks and I was going to cook for her, but no meals out. However, she just canceled her visit, saying that she needed rest and is busy at work. I feel guilty as my daughter won't be able to spend time with her aunt and feel a bit upset at me because of me not paying her meals when I visit. My husband thinks I am the AH, ruining my relationship with my sister over a few meals, when I think I knew she was cheap and got used to me paying for everything. I disagree, as I think I'm just doing the normal thing without causing an argument. Am I the asshole? I think yes and no. I don't think you're the asshole, like, to directly answer that first question that's in the title. Am I the asshole for not paying for my sister? No, you're not the asshole for not paying for your sister. It's a nice thing to do, to pay for your sister, but in this whole post, I don't see anything of a conversation happening. It sounds like you just did it and didn't say anything to your sister, and for that, I would declare you the asshole. I don't know if you're trying to avoid conflict or what, but objectively, you are going to start conflict by randomly changing your behavior and not giving a heads up. To be clear, you're not obligated to pay. And I'm sure, as your sister is childless, she probably has the ability to play for herself as well. And probably got thrown off by this lack of routine. But that's my take. Let's see what the comments have to say. Someone said, NTA, but talk to her. Don't lose the relationship because you won't confront her about it. If she still acts like you need to pay for her company, then let her have space to grow up. No, I think that's a great case, honestly. Just talk to her, OP. I don't think you're an asshole, but I do think that you need to talk to your sister. Don't just, like, randomly stop. Again, no obligation to pay, okay? But you should be a little courteous. And I don't know. I think open communication is just very important. There's nothing going to happen. Even if you're just feeling something, even if somebody's unintentionally doing something, then if you talk to her, you're either gonna find out she was unintentionally having you pay for everything and thought that you were just trying to be nice. And then honestly, your sister probably thinks that she did something wrong because you randomly stopped paying for her. You know? Yeah, just talk to her, but NTA.